Well, thank you.
I'm like, I would know because I am 21, but
Well, let's hope it
like,
stays that way, right?
I know, like so people are always like, oh my gosh, you look so young. And I'm like, I'm 21. And they're like, what? Thought you were like 16. No, I am definitely 21. It's because I don't
But
wear my
it's
makeup
such
as often. And so
yeah.
people always think I'm so little. So, yeah, I was 16 and someone thought I was 14. And I was like, I am most definitely not 14. I'm about 2 years older. Put makeup on, people are like, "Oh my gosh, are you like 24?" And I'm like, "No, I'm 21." I just, and someone asked me if I was 32 one time, and I was so mad,
It's not a
so
hard
mad.
game,
Yeah, because I was a waitress, and I was like, "What 32-year-old
Me too.
wears a cheerleader bow and wears neon pink to work?" Just a question. So on to the question. Sorry. While you're required to work together, we all know that stuff.
I don't
For the next
actually
7 questions.
I don't have it up once. You can keep reading. I just don't have it up.
Oh, that's cool.
Sorry.
For the next 7 questions, please use the following information. A public opinion poll surveyed a simple random sample of 1,000 voters. Were classified by gender, female or male, and by voting preference, Republican, Democrat, or Independent. The results are presented here. In this set of questions, we will explore the research question: do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences? Use a level of significance of 5, so a usual level of significance. Which set of hypotheses is appropriate for addressing the research question? Yeah, I mean, I would say first or the fourth one. Because it's like gender and voting preferences are independent, and gender and voting preferences are not independent. Because they didn't even ask, like, they didn't even say what, like, parties or something that we're using. I'm assuming we're using all 3 sets of data.
I think it's the third one.
You think it's the third one?
I think so.
Republicans and Democrats are not independent. Females are.
No, the third one.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot there's only 3 answers. Yeah, the third one. Yeah.
And then number 4 is the third one as well.
When in doubt, always pick C. My economy teacher taught me that when I was like 16. The correct degrees of freedom.
Wait.
Number 5.
No, I'm saying wait because my thing's not opening. I'm trying to open the Excel sheet. There it is. Thing's so slow. The internet's green though. Okay.
So do we do the chi-square for this one? Because we're using more than one. Goodness me.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't answer you. We do use that one.
Okay, I was like,
I haven't used it yet, so I don't know. And
so I was like, what do we do? I like the Excel sheets. One of my roommates was like, yeah, SPSS nobody really uses anymore, so I just personally wouldn't use it. And I was like, I mean, that helps a lot.
I just don't know where we input this at.
Column 1. So do we do men and women as, like, because we're doing rows 1 and 2, 3, you know what I'm talking about, the 3 parties, but the first 2 rows. Because we're not doing the totals, we're just doing the difference between men and women, regardless of party. That's 2, 3, that's 3. That's 200. Which one? That's 150. Okay.
I think I'm doing it.
So the degrees of freedom would be 2. I mean, even though we're using, because, like, correct me if I'm wrong, we're not using the totals, right? Because it already gives us the totals.
Yeah, we wouldn't use the totals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I wasn't crazy in saying that the degrees of freedom is 2.
That's what I got.
Yeah. Are the requirements for conducting an x-squared test for independence met by this data set?
Yeah.
Yeah. But why though? Like,
because all of them
is
are greater than or equal to 5.
Yeah.
And they use a simple random sampling.
So yes, there are at least 5 expected counts in each cell. Which is that what you said? Or is it yes, there are 5 observed counts in at least one cell?
I think it's the first one.
Yeah. See, that's what trips me up. What is the value of the x-squared test statistic for this problem? Do we get the x-squared test statistic? Oh, yeah. It's the 16.204, right?
I don't know.
Because if we're doing the test statistic, because that's what I have, 16.204. You're totally fine. And this is all using the Excel sheet for our viewers. What is the p-value for this problem? That would be 0.0003, which would only add up to 0.004. The following statement best describes the outcome of this study.
Shane, do you want to take Layla outside for a little bit? She wanted to play with me earlier, but I couldn't. Hey, babe, will you help me with this? Okay, so the question is, do men's voting preferences differ significantly from women's voting preferences? And because the P was less than A, so we reject the null.
Mm-hmm. And by rejecting the null, there is there is not enough evidence, isn't there?
So
because one of my roommates was explaining that if you reject the null because your p-value is less than A, then you'll have insufficient evidence.
these questions are trickier though, because there's not enough evidence to suggest that gender and voting preferences are not independent, or there's not enough evidence, because there's not enough evidence, right, if P is less than, so we rejected it. So the only two that are not then, there is not enough evidence to suggest that gender and voting preferences are not independent, or there is not enough evidence to suggest that more females vote than males.
I would say that
voting preferences differ.
Yeah, that gender and voting preferences are not independent because my parents, like, I mean, this is just something real world application. Like, my parents are the same party because of each other's influences. So, happened. Well, I'm still alive, so let's hope something happens. So I'm just saying there is not enough evidence to suggest that. Shit. Welcome back! I don't know what's going on her end. Dee, are you back? Let's hope she is. Dee? Oh, this is awkward. Anyway. Let's just go. And I continue. Just because I don't want her to. Okay. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's this 5? Okay, so first set of numbers, we're in 5. 61, 70, and 97. 65, 61. Next one is 72, 75, 82. 64, 82, and 111. And 142, 170. Question is, he realized she hold on, let's text her, shall we?